Hello and welcome to the Peak Endurance Podcast.
Holy moly,
I
you
am
yelled
your,
that.
I am your host, Ron Tate, and with me is your other host.
Your hostess.
Sorry, the hostess with the mostess.
Yes, Isabel Tate. That's
Yes,
me, the other voice that you are hearing.
that's right.
And we are back after,
Yep.
um, we're back after that original break, but there's been a little 2 weeks. So we're going to put this pod out every week or two. We just got so super busy
Yeah.
last week, and it
And
won't. So this will come out, and then there might be another long break because I've got a 7-day NLP course, which is neuro linguistic programming for my life coaching, which is 7 days, 9 to 5. So starts on the Monday, finishes 5 o'clock on the Sunday. So I will definitely not be doing a
no,
podcast then.
no.
So yeah, there won't be a podcast out next week. So apologies, but seriously, I'm going to be struggling just to.
Life is very busy at the moment.
Yeah, life is very, very busy. So
Doing what we can when we can.
yeah,
We were going to record this podcast 3 days ago,
it
but
was more. Yeah.
life got in the
We were
way.
going to record this last Friday, so
Yeah,
you know,
and life just keeps
and
getting in the
each
way.
day life just got and not just doing things, but then we'd be so exhausted, and you
Yeah.
don't really want to listen to us when I mean, I'm exhausted now, but not as bad as I was.
And we don't want to be recording this at 7:30 at night
Yeah,
when we're trying to, or we want to
relax.
be winding down for the day
Because quite
because
frankly, we go to bed at 8:30. So if we're recording this at 7:30, holy moly, we're in
yeah.
trouble. So
So
yeah,
we want to at least,
have an
try and
evening.
have an evening to ourselves and have time to wind down, which is really important, winding
Yes.
down before you get into bed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's important for all of us, from a running perspective, but also from a life coaching perspective, is to look after yourselves. And sometimes if it means just saying, no, I can't do this right now, then that's what you got to do.
yeah,
And it's, making time. Sure, we could have done it then because we were just, we could do it 7:30 at night because we're just sitting on the couch. But you've got to also respect your rest time and know that that time is important too. And that, you need to honor that
yeah.
and make sure that you get that and not just fill every moment with busyness. So yes, so that is the
Yes,
way.
because we generally are on the go right up until it's time to prepare dinner. And then obviously, dinner takes up time and cooking and eating and everything. So by the time we'll have been going all day until,
It's 10 past 5 in the morning
yeah,
until
5 till 7 o'clock. And
yeah,
then we sit down
shattered.
and, that's our time. That's our time,
Yeah,
time just to relax, watch
yeah,
something inane on the telly, maybe, you know, watch YouTube or, get our fix of Russ Cook.
yes.
And
And he's
just
getting his ones and twos in.
just chill out.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
need to do that.
yeah. It's
So
very important. And and it for everyone, whether you're parents of young children or parents of old children like us, or the parent of a dog, whatever it is, you don't even have to be a parent, but you need to make time for you. It's super important. Anyway, enough of that. Update. What have we been doing?
update. Well, not a lot, to be honest. We've been busy
You
with
just said
life.
we've been
I know, but
busy.
we've been busy with
You think
life,
we're
but
lying.
nothing,
We're super busy.
we're not doing anything out of the ordinary. We're just getting life
We were
done.
getting your car fixed
Yeah,
and
getting my car fixed, and then um,
and then
I went and had a
oh
bit of
my God, the motorbike
had a bit of an
accident.
accident on the motorbike.
Bloody hell, there I am at school in the gym with the kids, and my phone's ringing, and I'm like, Ron doesn't normally ring me. And I thought, but and we're not really meant to talk on the phone in class, but it was like, that's weird for him to be ringing when he should be coming home. So I'm just going to answer it just in case. And I
yeah,
mean, these are teenage kids, they don't care.
yeah.
Um,
They all thought, oh, good, now we can go and have one.
no.
While she's distracted.
Yeah, no, they're not allowed to have their phones around. So, but yeah,
Yes.
so that was wrong going, it's okay, I'm all right, but I've just been in an accident. And I'm like,
Uh,
oh, fuck. I mean,
so
yeah.
yeah, so that's that kind of it added an extra element to our
Yes,
already
yes,
busy life.
yes, that's right. Because then I had to drive out to Dandenong,
Yeah.
60 bajillion miles away from Lilydale. And, but yeah, but
And we
that's what you
missed a
do.
session at the gym.
I know you were very disappointed, weren't
Yeah.
you? That was actually the night we were going to record the podcast. No, I remember.
I was
That
too.
was the
Yeah.
Tuesday night. We were gonna because we'd already decided we weren't going to go to the gym because we were knackered. And I
Yeah.
said we'll record the podcast. So this is over a week later and we finally got to do it. So yeah,
Yeah.
Tuesday night. And I mean, you had to come home and sit on the phone to the insurance.
Uh,
And then Wednesday night, we were both just a bit shell-shocked and tired. And then just before we knew it, it's today.
yeah,
So yeah, so it was actually we were going to be
that's
doing the
right.
pod then, but
Yep.
you wanted to get out of it so much
So
you had
much
to.
that I was willing to park my bike under a car.
That's right, exactly. The
Uh,
lengths you'll go to.
that's right.
Speaking of the
But,
podcast, I got a we'll get back to
yeah.
whatever. I get these weekly updates for Peak Endurance podcast from I've forgotten what it's called, Chartable Digest, whatever that is. I can't remember. Something I signed up for with the podcast. Apple Podcast Canada, we're out. We're out.
Out.
Canada,
Come on, Canada.
gosh. Australia, we're down 18. Switzerland, we're down 7.
Switzerland. Come on, what are you
South
doing?
Africa, we're actually the highest in South Africa, but we're still down 3. And we're out of India.
Oh,
Oh,
that's terrible.
thank you,
Come
South
on.
Africa.
Where are
But
all our Hindu friends? Start listening.
yes, yes. But anyway, see 2 more. Oh no, I don't. I better not click that link. Anyway, interesting where we listen to. So hello to all those other countries, and thank you so much for listening to us.
Yep.
Yes. Anyway, what were you going to say with our
So
update?
yeah, I mean, as far as our running goes, we're just kind of ticking over at the moment. We're
And one thing that we noticed, we're struggling. I certainly was struggling with going further than 25K.
yeah,
Really struggling with it. So I decided to beat the struggle of um, doing 25K that we would do 30.
230. That's right. So
And it was so much better.
we got to 25 Ks and we just kept on going.
Yeah. And it was like, I felt good. Well, you were kind
I
of
was
lagging
I
and
was like
suffering.
my legs just weren't playing the game because once again we did it was 30 Ks, but I think it was
12, 1,300 meters
1300
climb.
meters climbing.
Yeah.
So
But we
still,
ran from home. So
yeah,
the first and last 4Ks are
yeah,
flat-ish,
flattish. And so my legs just weren't in the game. Like
And I'm
they
like,
were tired
oh,
right
I
from
was
the
feeling
start.
good.
Yeah. So I was starting to lag, but we did, I've always said that your mind controls how you feel so
Mm,
much that
mm.
if you decide you're going to do a 20K run, you get to 15Ks and you're looking forward to finishing.
Yes, yes.
If you decide you're going to do a 30K run, you pass 15Ks without even thinking about it.
Yeah,
You
that's
get to
right.
25 and then you're starting to think about, how good would it be to be done.
Yeah.
So that's how big, the mind plays when
Yeah.
you
Which is
start running
why,
distances.
because we were struggling with 25K, I upped the Ks
Yeah. So
because I knew it wasn't a physical thing. I knew it was purely a mental. It was like,
yeah,
I just want this to be done. I just want to be sitting at home eating my porridge,
yeah.
you know, and so that's all it was.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
you
I
know,
mean, it just goes to show how big a part your brain plays in the running game,
and not enough people do focus on that or give it credence, because I knew that lethargy we were feeling wasn't our legs,
Yeah.
although Saturday was for you. You were
Yeah, I
really
was. Yeah,
suffering.
yeah. I don't know why.
And I could tell he was suffering because of all the grunting and groaning and moaning. Oh my
we did
word.
we did do a hilly run on Wednesday, and then
Why did you run with me on Wednesday?
because I was
Were you sick?
yes. Well, that was the day after the motorbike
Oh
accident,
yeah, that's
so
right. Yeah.
I had stuff to do, and
Yeah.
my head wasn't in the
Yeah.
game, and
So, and I wasn't work. I was working from home that day, and I wanted to run up into the hills, do some filming, for my little all my little videos. Um,
yeah.
and yeah, so you ran with
So
me.
we
We
went
did
for a run up,
17Ks
up
up.
into the
Yeah,
hills. Um,
yeah.
and
And
then
you're not used to, although
I don't,
I haven't
yeah,
done a hilly run, midweek run for a while either.
yeah.
So
And then Friday I went to Listerfield and did a bit of a
yeah,
run through there as well. So I don't know. I don't know. The hills that I did weren't super
no,
hard, and I have done it before, but for
no.
some reason by Saturday my legs were just
Yeah, you were just
I
tired.
just had it.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's fine. It was a big week for you.
yeah,
Even though you weren't hurt at all on the motorbike accident, it was very stressful.
yeah,
And stress has such a big effect on your energy levels because stress burns, A, it burns a lot of calories, and B, it just makes you exhausted. And like, that huge adrenaline rush you got when it all happened, like you said in the car on the way home, oh my God, all of a sudden I'm so exhausted,
yeah,
and that can last, you can sort of have like a hangover from that,
yeah.
So, as I say to clients who are feeling really exhausted, sometimes you've got to give the body grace and honor how it's feeling. And if it's telling you it needs a little bit of a break, then, that's why I need athletes to tell me how they're feeling. Um, and I like keeping in close contact with my athletes, and then I'll adapt their plan.
Mm.
Because if there's no point in continuing to push yourself. Problem was you had to continue to push yourself because we'd run from home and we had to get
Yeah,
home.
that's right.
So you didn't really have a choice.
No, that's
I
right.
couldn't say, well, you just sit
Yeah,
here
you
and I'll run
you just stand
home.
it here and then magic yourself home.
Yeah, just do a bit of an I dream a
Yeah,
genie.
that's right.
I do that sometimes. I try to be like Tabitha.
Yeah.
No, Tabitha was a little daughter. Well, whatever.
Yeah, Tabitha was the one that did it with the night.
No, but wasn't it that Tabitha with the daughter?
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. The one, what was the name of the woman who did it with her nose? Ding, ding,
Yeah, that
ding.
was the Bewitched. What was her
Bewitched.
name?
Yeah, I've forgotten. Anyway,
Yeah, I can't remember.
Daryl was the husband or something like that. It
Darren.
was Darren because he was,
Yes.
he was
The
the
grumpy.
loser.
Yeah.
It was always the men who were the dumb ones.
Yeah.
People think those shows were so sexist, but if you watch them, it's always the men who are absolutely dumb as.
Yeah.
And it's the women who are just like, yeah, whatever, they're just dumb.
Yeah.
So it's actually, have a look at it.
Yeah.
Anyway, what we are here to talk about is stretching and mobility.
Yeah.
All right, and the importance of each, or both. Um, so, I'm just going to read. I've got this book that I like, Anatomy for Runners, which is actually, it is anatomy, but it's mainly about mobility and that sort of stuff. So just listen to this. What causes injuries? Most runners don't sustain major traumatic events like falling off a cliff. The thing that gets runners is compounding microtraumatic loads applied to the body mile after mile. So it's the compounding of the running that injures us. It's not, it is sometimes, especially with trail running, you trip, fall, break an ankle, smash a knee, whatever it is. But in general, the injuries that runners get are, repetitive motion ones. So, and what often can happen is it's a breakdown within the runner. And what happens is if you don't have enough mobility at a specific joint, that will force excessive or different motion through a different joint. And that is why often where you feel the injury or where you get the injury is not the actual problem, it's somewhere else. And a lot of these things boil down to lack of mobility in joints and over tightness in muscles. Now, obviously, we don't want to be like bendy gymnasts or ballerinas. We don't want to be that flexible. No. Runners need stiffness in their muscles for the
spring.
The spring.
Yeah.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. But we don't want to be so tight and so locked up. I mean, that you can't even, sometimes I'll get tight during a run and it hurts to bend down and do up my laces. Now, you don't want to be like that all the time because that's going to lead to injury. So that is why it's super important to engage in stretching and mobility. So stretching and mobility includes pre-running dynamic stretching. Yep. Did you want to talk people through what that is? Or did you want me to do most of the talking?
You're probably better to do that.
I love the preparation we've put into this.
I am not the world's best stretcher.
No, Ron is the anti-stretcher. I do my dynamic stretching before every run, and Ron stands there whinging about the weather.
Most of my stretching experience is in watching Isabel stretch. I have started
stretching my
quad before a run because I do have a dodgy knee, which is being caused by tight quads.
Yes. And it's so interesting because I told him what the issue was, told him what to do. He didn't do it. He went to the doctor. The doctor told him exactly the same, and then he did it.
Yeah. So I have started stretching that quad before I run, and that's
helping to relieve it a bit.
It is. It's actually helping a lot.
Okay, but generally we do not recommend static stretching before a run. The reason we don't do static stretching before a run is it reduces your power. Because like we said, you need the stiffness for the spring. And once you get rid of that, you don't have that power, that push off. So it's better to do dynamic stretching, which actually is just moving the joints through the range of motion. And if you can't do dynamic stretching like leg swings and hip hugs, knee hugs, sorry, how the hell would you hug your hip? Jesus. That's some weird shit going on there.
Someone else's hip. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't want to hear about it. Knee hugs, hip circles. I kind of put them together and all sorts of those different things.
And you also do a bit of hopping, a bit of
Yeah, I do some pogo jumps and
yeah.
that sort of stuff, you know. But all of that prepares your body and loosens the not the joints, but loosens the mobility in the joint so that you are ready to run. So that if I am running and I trip and I have to suddenly swing my leg in a weird direction, it's not that's not the first way it's done that movement that day. You know, I've loosened it all up a bit, loosened everything up so that if something untoward happens, my body is ready for it. And this is what happens is yes, even though I said a lot of it is compounded injuries, if you are really tight and you trip on the trails, you're stuffed because your body is going to be much more likely to tear.
mm-hmm.
That is how tears happen if you are so super tight and stiff. So that's all part of the reasons why you need to do it. So there's dynamic stretching before a run. And you know, I just go outside. I go outside, turn on my watch, wait for the satellites.
Yeah.
And I'm doing these mobility stuff at the butt crack of dawn
That's
as
right.
well.
And it's
Like,
only, 2 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't do a huge mungus. I mean, I give some of my athletes bigger routines, but I don't do a huge mungus one. I
Yeah.
probably could do a little bit more, but you know,
It's pretty cold and you just
yeah,
want to get running,
yeah.
to be honest.
But you literally do nothing, but
Yeah.
you probably should.
I stand there, I turn my GPS on, and while I'm waiting for the GPS to,
Load, whatever.
load or calibrate or whatever you want to call it, I stand there with my hands, crossed over my chest,
Freezing to death.
wondering what I'm doing because it's so damn cold out here.
Yes, I know.
I might jump up and down a little bit, but that's just to try and warm up.
Yes. Anyway, so that's your dynamic stretching,
Yeah.
right? And that helps to warm you up too, just
Yeah.
saying. And then, the static stretching probably should be after you run, but quite frankly, my priority is food.
Mm.
And certainly if I'm working, my priority is like racing to the shower because talking of priorities, I always prioritize my run over getting to work on time. And so I'm always running late.
Yeah.
Always. I'm running around like a blue ass fly. Everyone, literally this morning, I think my shower was 1 minute.
She spends an hour and a half on her run and then
Yeah,
5 minutes getting ready and
5 minutes
darting out
getting
the
ready.
door.
I had a kid in class go the other day. Is your hair wet, miss? I'm like, yes. You know, she's like, oh, I think it was dripping onto my shoulders. That's how wet it was. Anyway, I mean, to be fair, I had a shower this morning and
Your hair's probably still wet.
it's probably still, it's a
Yeah.
little bit damp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have very, very thick hair. But anyway, so then the static stretching should be after. But in general, you don't have time. And food, I believe personally, is a priority. So I do some stretching of an evening, generally before dinner, because, well, always before dinner. I don't do it after dinner because then I'd probably barf up dinner.
Yeah.
And also I kind of go, I can only have dinner after I've stretched. It's
Yep.
kind of like an internal rule I have. And the way you do form habits is to have these sorts of internal rules. That's part of habits, and it's habit stacking. The habit of dinner, well, it's preceded by the habit of stretching. So, I'm stacking habits together. Can't have dinner unless I've done my stretching.
Yeah.
But even then, I only do it 3 times a week. Once again, just like this podcast, I'd planned to stretch on Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, and nothing happened. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
So, but that's okay. I'm not going to berate myself and beat myself up about it. I stretched last night.
Yep.
I probably won't get time to stretch tonight because we're doing this podcast, but we'll see how it goes. And it's just, I know it seems like a lot of time to another thing that you have to do. Oh, I want to run. Now you're saying I've got to do strength work and I've got to do stretching and mobility. But the thing is, this is the training that lets you do the training. You've got to do the strength work and the mobility work to be able to do the running for as long as you want.
Yeah.
Like I've been running at long distances for a long time. So I kind of know what I'm talking about in regards to longevity in the sport.
Yeah.
And strength work and stretching and mobility are them. And from the moment I started running, I was doing strength work, and I used to stretch back then every night because I'd stretch while I was cooking the dinner. Can I tell you, trying to do a hamstring stretch and chop carrots is freaking hard, can I just say?
It's all right for us taller people who can get our foot up onto the bench.
Yeah, but I used to put my foot up on the bench and lean forward, and it'd be like, oh, but it was the only way I had time back in the day for stretching was when I was cooking dinner, and the kids would be reading to me. I'd be like doing 25,000 tasks at once. Um, but you do what you got to do. And I feel almost that as I've gotten older, I've gotten slacker
Because you can.
because the thing is, if you want to get someone to do something, get a busy person. Busy people get shit
Yeah.
done. Anyway, that's just an aside. But it is so important. And when I say I'm doing stretching, I actually mean stretching and mobility. I do hip opening exercises and lower back exercises and all sorts of things. It's not just stretching like, in the 70s gym class.
Yeah.
It's actual mobility work and those sorts of things from yoga, from whatever. And really it takes 20 minutes. I use the ball first and roll like my feet and my shins and my calves and
Mm-hmm.
glutes. And then I stretch and do mobility stuff. And then, yeah. And
Yeah.
then by then Ron's cooked dinner and I'm like,
Yeah, that's right. And
I come, can I help?
she says, "Can I help?" And I say, "Well, you can serve it." So she dishes it out onto the plate and then claims that she's done the job, takes the glory because she picked it up.
I get the glory job.
She calls out dinner served.
Oh, we laugh.
But I find it's best to get Isabel to dish up because otherwise she gets here and she compares the two plates and goes, "Did you give yourself more than me? Did you count those meatballs? They've got to be exactly the same." So I
Makes
just
meatballs. I crack the shits if he doesn't make equal numbers, or if he makes an odd number. Oh my God! And I literally, it's one of those things. I tell myself, don't worry about it, but I have to count them. I'm like two, three. It's like dealing cards,
so and I'm sure that if I dished it up, you'd be looking at mine going, "Did he give himself more?"
And at the end of the day, I often end up scooping my dinner into
You
yours
do, that's
anyway.
right. We get towards the end of dinner and you start giving me yours, so it doesn't matter.
It's got to start off fair. It's got to be equal. We're
Yeah.
equal partners. Except we're not, because I eat about 10 times more than you.
But I was always told as a child that the best way to make sure things are fair is one person. If
Yes,
there's
that's
two
what I
people,
was
one
taught too.
person cuts or divides or does whatever, and
And
then
the
the
other
other
one
person
chooses.
chooses.
But I always
So
give you yours because I give you more like potato and all that sort of stuff.
when we've got the stuff like rice and things like that Isabel's not so keen on,
I give
then I
that
get
to
more.
yeah.
But when it comes to meatballs or anything like that, chicken pieces or whatever, then it's straight down the line. Even Steven.
Yeah. Well, and your
Yeah,
problem is?
no, I fully understand it, and I just let you do it.
Yes.
I just let you do your thing
Yeah.
because
Ron knows I
it
have
doesn't bother.
weird idiosyncrasies
That's
and
right. And I figure if it doesn't bother me, then I'll just let you go on your way.
because it bothers me.
Yeah. So
But of all things, really, it's nothing
that's
major.
right, and that's
Yeah, that's part of
we
being
we
with
laugh
someone.
at it now because it is kind of funny, but it's just one of those things.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
those eccentricities of people that is harmless but fun.
Yes, that's right. So anyway,
Yeah.
the point being that I always strategically place the stretching and mobility work so that
Yeah.
I don't have to cook dinner.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe you will get time for a stretch tonight.
Yeah, maybe I will. Anyway, so I really want to encourage people to do stretching and mobility because it is so incredibly important. And in that vein, I have created a stretching and mobility program that can be added to runners programs, or it could be a standalone if you only wanted to have the stretching and mobility program. It's just super important. All the videos for it, everything, it would come out on the app that I have too. So, it is
Well,
something.
part of the program is you get Isabel demonstrating in video
Well,
exactly how it's done.
no, I'm not very flexible. So
Yes,
there's not
that's
too many of me. I have got some other videos there too with people that it can actually stretch a bit, which are a bit more flexible. Because in spite of me doing it, I am very stiff. I fractured my vertebrae L4 back in the day, and my back is stiff, and there's not a lot I can do about that, sadly. So that kind of leaves me in a position where I can't do a lot of the stretches I can do them. I just, you know,
can't quite make them look like they do in the videos of other people doing
yeah,
it.
with these bendy
You
yogis
feel
in
you
them.
feel like you're doing it exactly
And
like
then
it
you
is.
video me, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So,
But I mean, once again, and that actually highlights a point is you don't have to be the most flexible
no,
person in the world. Just
and in fact, like I
doing the
said, you don't want to
stretches.
be, but yes,
Yeah,
just
doing
doing.
the stretches as far as you can do them is a help.
Yeah, yeah, and increasing your mobility.
Yeah.
Everybody's mobility is different. Just increasing your mobility is going to be a game changer for you. And the clients I've had who've done it and have said, "Oh my God, they wish they'd started it sooner. It has improved their running." So it really is important to do. Whether you use my program or you don't, you just do it off your own bat. You really need to do something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yes. All righty. So that's that. We wanted to talk about YouTube subscribers.
Oh yes, yes.
So,
Once again, we spoke about this one before
last Tuesday.
before we were going to originally
Yes, yes.
record.
So we
So
are stuck at 245 subscribers on YouTube. We would like more than that.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
we're going to have like not a competition, but I don't know, whatever it is. I don't know. So when we get to 300 subscribers, we will do the Macca's run.
Yep.
So we'll do like a 25-kilometer run. What distance had you mapped out?
I think I did a couple of different ones. There was like
I reckon
it
about,
was nearly 30 or
yeah, I
there
reckon
was
30.
about 20.
That's right, the 31 where we
The
did a
third,
Macca's every 5K, was
yeah,
it?
the 31 had about 6 Maccas and the
Yeah.
21 had
And what were we
4.
eating at the Macca's?
Well, we were going to, cycle through. Like the first stop was going to be a breakfast,
Yeah.
like
So
an
we're
egg and
going to get
bacon
different.
or
Yeah.
something like that. The
Yeah.
second one would be a cheeseburger. The third
Yeah.
one would be a
Yes.
quarter pounder or,
And
you
we'll
know,
video and we'll create a video and
yeah.
everything. So our challenge to you is get us up to 300 subscribers. That's only 55 more
Yep.
on YouTube. Just Peak Endurance Coaching, I think it's under. It used to be under my name, Isabel Ross, but I've changed it to Peak Endurance Coaching. But I think if you looked up Isabel Ross, it would come under that too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how it all works, but it's like magic. So follow us on YouTube. Get us up to 300 because
right.
then if we get to 400, we're going to do a beer marathon.
Probably.
Ooh.
That sounds like so much
Hushed
fun.
silence falls across the crowd. Um, Not a beer mile. Oh no, that's too easy. We're ultra
That's a
runners.
sprint. Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't do sprints.
we're going to do a beer marathon
Marathon.
where we stop at a pub every 5 kilometers.
That's right. And have
Okay.
at least one drink at
Yes.
every pub.
Yes. Okay. You'll have to have it slightly bigger because I'm littler.
So does that mean you'll be having a shot and I'll be having a beer?
Yeah. No, I'll be having a pot and you can have a schooner. So anyway, if you want to see us, and we'll do videos for both.
Yep.
So get up to 300, chuck a screenshot of you listening to this, say YouTube, whatever, go onto YouTube, get a screenshot of that, of this pod.
Yep.
I'm getting so confuddled with what I'm saying, and get people, round us up.
Yep.
And if we get to 300 subscribers, we'll do the Macca's 30K.
Yep.
And then if we get to 400 subscribers, we'll do the beer marathon. And then we're open to ideas for 500 subscribers.
Ooh, goodness me.
Okay.
There is
the kilo marathon.
No, there is the idea of doing the 7-Eleven. We spoke
Oh yeah,
about that, where we would have a Slurpee every whatever. Like we'll pick out all the because there's a lot of 7-Elevens in our area, so we'd pick out all the 7-Elevens and have stop for a Slurpee at each one.
Steve suggested the Beechworth Bakery ride. We could ride to each one of the Beechworth bakeries, and we could have a German donut at each one. Ooh.
Better make sure that
this would be a multi-day event.
Those Beechworth bakeries are at the top of a hill because after those German donuts,
we'll
there's no way I'm
300 kilos extra. Yes,
that's right. I'll be able to coast down a hill. I won't be pushing up a hill.
No. So there's some options, but you can think of the 500. It could be the slushies because it might be summer by then.
Yeah, that's
the rate we're growing. But seriously, we've been stuck at 245 forever and a day. Let's build because we would love to get to over 1,000 subscribers eventually. So every 100, we'll have a challenge. I don't know if we're
Yep.
peaking too early with the beer marathon at 400, but whatever.
We'll see.
We'll
We'll
see.
see. You can only put it out there, and God
Yes.
help us.
Yes. We might have to then do a beer 100K.
Oh. Well, then, I mean, really, after the first 30 Ks, you don't remember much.
No, that's
The rest of
right.
it's just
And
a
I'm
blur.
stumbling and crawling and
Yeah.
swearing anyway. So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that, folks. Support us, please, and help us achieve those numbers. And because we
Yeah.
want to make those videos because
We
it's a
do.
bit of fun,
It is.
you know. And
And
Steve
that's
said
what
he'll
fun
be
is
the
about.
designated driver for our beer marathon.
Uh,
So he's an enabler, that
yeah,
one.
he is, most definitely.
Yes, yes. All righty. So on that note,
Yeah.
because we're all about running and health.
Yeah, we are. Well, we run so we can do those things.
Yeah, that's right. All righty.
Uh,
Thanks for joining us. And yes, like I said, it'll be another week. It'll be, a week break because
yeah,
I'm doing this course, but we'll be back.
we will be back.
And if you've got any questions or topics that you would like us to cover, please let us know. And
Yep.
oh, for something I thought I'd done something. Please let us know because that gives us ideas as well.
Yep.
All righty. Thanks for
All right.
joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.